Yo, I hope you guys having a good morning, evening, night, whichever one fits, shit like that. In this video, I'm going to show you guys 3 items or runes or whatever on Twitch that I do think is underrated and maybe not even played at all. So I'm going to put some light onto those and show you guys and tell you guys why they're kind of broken and why you should maybe consider building them in this video. And one's going to be for AP, and the ones are going to be for AD and maybe AP, but I would say that the one is not going to be for AD at all. And the first one I'm going to tell you guys about is Horizon Focus. This item, why I consider it to be really good and broken, is because it actually does give you vision of targets when you W them after your W's ended. So that's an example we're going to see here now. I get vision of the target even after my W ends. And seeing how hard it is sometimes to have vision in late stages of the game when they play into bushes and stuff, I do consider this to be actually quite nice. Being able to track them after they run out your W or whatever it may be. I do think that to be quite broken. Also gives 100 AP. So instead of like these items, you talk about like Void Staff and all these other things, I do think that Horizon Focus is going to be better in a lot of cases as opposed to this. And I've been really enjoying this item. And as you can see, it's now at 2k damage. And then we're going to do a E here on 6 stacks. And we're going to see it jumps to like close to 400 damage just from 1 E. So like imagine 2 targets as an example. If we stack some dummies here, we see now at 2, 3, 8, 4. And I'll W all of them. And I'll just do a 4 stack here. You can see it jumps by quite a lot, right? So Horizon Focus on AP, definitely good. And I would probably recommend buying it most of the time, actually. Unless you have to go Hourglass something, I would prioritize that over Horizon. But if you're looking for like what item do I build for like damage, then Horizon Focus is obviously going to be a very good option. Because I saw before that people said don't buy Horizon Focus on AP Twitch. And I'm telling you guys now, you can, okay? And obviously as you scale later into the game, Horizon is going to be better. Just like, but I'm not saying like you should buy Horizon now and then grab a layer. Like the only alternatives for this if you're like losing or you're behind or something. But if you have like a lead and you're able to like get these items without putting too much like negativity. Because obviously having to save a lot of money for like Rabadon requires you to be in a state where you're allowed to do that without having to sacrifice too much, whereas like any other item like Hourglass or something has like cheaper components that just builds up to the item. But obviously the spike you do get when you do get Rabadon is going to be huge. So Rabadon third is obviously the dream scenario, but if not, then Horizon Focus third or Cosmic or Hourglass or whatever you may need is also a viable option. So yeah, this is just me saying that Horizon Focus is actually fucking cracked. And you should definitely consider buying this item. I sometimes see like 1k damage just from one team fight, and I think that is pretty fucking good. So, the next item for AD Twitch that I do consider to be really fucking broken is actually Swifties. Especially as I've been playing with the eco builds, I've come to realize that Swifties is actually really nice. Because you get such insane amount of movement speed in comparison to some other items. And even if you don't play Hurricane or something as an example, or even with Hurricane and attack speed boots, you're not going to reach the same amount of movement speed. So you see I'm at 400 now. If I swap this for Hurricane and attack speed boots, I'm obviously going to have more because I have 2 items now. But if you swap this for Swifties, you'll see that I have more. Right? And I've really been enjoying this item when I've been playing against like Tryndamere or something, or like just in general. Because like there are 2 parts of kiting or like attacking anyone in general. It's one, being able to attack them. Or dealing like lots of damage when you're able to attack them. But being able to attack someone and like requires you to be able to stay in range as well. So that is where Swifties like kind of like gains on Berserkers, because it gives you more uptime at times, or like more ability to dodge stuff and stuff, shit like that, you know. So definitely do try this item, But obviously you don't want to rush it. Like Berserkers, you can obviously go earlier. But if you were to, as an example, go Blade the Rune King, then going Swifties after, if you're playing the eco build where you take inspiration secondary with 3 boots, then going Swifties second, I definitely do think is something you can try or should try. And you will definitely find times where this is useful. Especially with Lethal Tempo, I actually do think that Swifties could be more valuable as opposed to with PTA. But yeah, Swifties I think is heavily underrated on Twitch and on AD, not AP. I know it has different win rates if you look it up in the analytics or whatever, but in general, Swifties is underrated, I think. They're extremely cheap, so you get a lot of movement speed, which is generally why you do buy your tier 2 boots. And then you're going to get attack speed and everything from your other items anyway, and you're saving money, which means that you get tier 2 boots, but you also get more money to spend on your next legendary items. And for the third one, even though it is played a lot, PTA. Underrated. Heavily underrated. And I'll go into depth about PTA or Lethal Tempo in my next video. But for now, PTA is what I say is underrated. If you've been playing with Lethal Tempo for a very long time now, I heavily do recommend that you just swap to PTA. Play that for a while and see how you feel about it. Because it is a very, very good rune at the moment. Especially now that I do think that Lethal Tempo is a bit worse than it used to be. I understand it's disappointing as a Space Glider to hear that your rune is not that good anymore. And I wish that wasn't the case. But I'm not saying that Lethal Tempo shouldn't be played. It's definitely good still. But I do think that PTA is heavily underrated. So I recommend you guys to try that. So yeah, these are my 3 underrated items and runes that I recommend you guys to try. And I think if you do try them enough, you'll find great success with them. So yeah, hope you guys continue to have a good morning and night, whichever one fits shit like that. And yeah, take care. Peace.